Fair enough. Chronic obstructive airways, COPD. You'll hear that a lot.
Yep.
They're the people that when someone has COPD, right, we have to be aware of giving them oxygen because they have spent years developing this and their bodies developed a way of only living on drawing in a couple of litres of oxygen. And we hit them with 15 litres and they stop breathing.
No, but oxygenated.
Emphysema. Pleurisy. You know what pleurisy is? Am I right with pleurisy?
Something in the lungs.
It's an inflammation of the pleural layer of your lung. And pneumonia. And that's a little spot of pneumonia down the bottom there. And if you have a look out here, it's where it's starting to spread out. And when you see them, they get like a spider web effect over their whole lungs. So what is dyspnea?
Difficulty breathing.
It's on there, printed out. Some print out, some don't. So which muscles are the main muscles, or muscle, involved in inhalation? Diaphragm. The diaphragm. And as you can see on our... No, you can't see on our drawing because I flipped over. There's your diaphragm there. It stretches under here. And that's in its normal resting state. Then we take a breath in. It goes up, pushes up the lungs, pushes it out. So the diaphragm relaxes and moves upwards, right? And when the diaphragm contracts, it pulls everything back down. So it forces us to breathe out. So up. So it's drawing in your lungs. It's like a big pump.
So there's a lot of movement with that, because when they do tests, hold your breath.
Yep.
Is that because it moves? There's a lot of movement?
Yeah, often that's to stop when they're listening to your chest. They get you to hold your breath because they don't want to hear all the lung sounds. They want
Or even
they're
the
listening to
X-rays
crackles.
and MRI, you know.
Yeah, again, you don't want a lot of movement in your lungs because they move up and down.
Yeah, okay.
You're trying to get a nice still shot.
Okay.
So the structure, which structure exchanges oxygen and carbon dioxide across the alveolar pulmonary capillary membrane? Isn't that a mouthful? Come on, which structure? We've talked about it. There's a hint in there somewhere.
Alveoli.
Hey?
Alveoli.
There's the hint.
Alveoli.
The alveoli. It's
Ta-da.
so those little air sacs fill up with air, push it out through the membrane into the blood so it can transport it around your body. So it's the alveoli. There they are, little bunches of grapes down the bottom.
Are they like the 16 of them? Is that the 16?
No, you're talking about the
Kidney.
the kidney and the triangles, the pyramids.
It sounds
Renal
like
pyramids.
aioli to me, like
Up the top of those is like a bunch of
I
grapes.
remember it like that?
You're thinking right in the right type of formation,
Right.
but this is in your lungs, so they're bunches of grapes. Monty Python fan, what kind of-
Oh,
Okay, a sphygmomanometer measures what?
Blood pressure.
Blood pressure. What is otitis media commonly called, and it is most common in who?
Middle ear infection in
Yep.
children.
In children. Absolutely.
wow.
Earache. And common in children due to the shorter and more horizontal eustachian tubes. You know where eustachian tubes are? Ear holes. Shorter eustachian, little heads, shorter eustachian tubes, more open, they're more horizontal so the bugs can get in.
Oh, waist.
Can we go back?
Yes.
I just like that effect of going up and down. I quite like it.
Yes, like that.
Yeah. It's more fun that way.
Good on you.
Then you start flying across the red.
Oh, wouldn't that be good? I think I'm Harry Potter now. Yeah, but I don't have my wand. Oh, I do actually.
Where's your Ruby?
Side. Thank you.
Go to the light, Neville.
Leave it outside.
You could have fun with Jade's dog with that. You could have fun with Jade's dog with that.
Yes. Everyone got that down? Cool. That is again just because I could. I like this picture.
Yes. That's very
Oh no, that's nice. I picked a nice picture. You can see the bone sticking out.
Crunchy.
An open fracture, right, is where the bone has pierced the skin. Now, it doesn't mean that there's a piece of bone sticking out. If you've got a hole in that ankle and there was no bone there, we would have to assume that it's an open fracture until proven otherwise. And that would be that there's no bone broken. And that's the only way to prove it. If the bone was broken and moved back into place, it still could have been an open fracture. Because it could have gone up, popped out, and gone back down when they've moved their foot. Seen that many times.
Yum, yum.
So that is actually an open fracture or a compound fracture. There's two names for it. You'll hear closed fractures as well. It's a compound fracture.
We'd always call that an open fracture because it's open the skin. Is that not
Yeah, but
right?
if they're asking specifically in the exam,
Oh, okay.
it would be a compound fracture.
Okay, sweet.
They'll probably give you the choice of open or compound.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that means
Because it means the same.
yeah.
Depends on what book you read and what nurse you talk to. The retina. What does a retina contain?
Iris?
The retina,
Oh,
not the eye.
Oh,
Retina is at the back of the
pupil.
So what's your retina?
I don't know.
It's the back of the
What's
eye.
your retina there?
It's the back.
Oh,
So it can't contain the
lots of
cornea.
blood vessels. I don't know.
Eh?
Lots of blood vessels.
Yeah.
If you poked it, my God, it just bleeds like nightmare.
Jelly-like.
It actually has photoreceptors, which are there. They're your photoreceptors. Your rods and your cones there. So the photoreceptor comes along. The retina is a light-sensitive layer at the back of the eye. It covers 65% of the interior surface of your eye. So the photosensitive cells, called rods and cones, right? Rods and cones, in the retina convert the incident light energy into signals that are carried by the brain up to the optic nerve, or from the optic nerve to the brain. So it can tell you what you're seeing. So where is the appendix located?
Right.
It used to be there.
Right?
Right side.
It used to be there.
Mine used to be there too.
Yeah, most people have lost theirs. A lot of people have lost them. They don't take them out as quickly as they used to now these days, which is good. The right lower quadrant. Why would that be important to know that?
Because it's in the exam.
So you don't open up the
Could
wrong
be in the
side.
exam.
For a patient.
Did you say that?
Stomach pain. You don't want to go, oh yeah, that's all right, buddy. Go to your doctor in a couple of days. Just a bit of abdo pain, a bit of tummy pain.
Let's go do a big fart somewhere.
Yep.
Go do a big quick.
Do you know how they feel for, do you know how they tell if it's an appendix?
No.
They press in your stomach
And you
When you press in, they go, oh, that's all right. And then when you let go, they scream.
Oh.
Or one of my friends is pretty cruel, really. Makes people go,
Jump.
jump. Because it bounces everything. And they scream. I prefer the personal touch. The duodenum and the jejunum and the ileum are located in which anatomical region? Because you ought to have read up on anatomical region.
Yeah.
Anatomical region.
Small intestine.
Small intestine is an anatomical region. Gastric cavity.
That's true.
Because it's asking for a specific piece of anatomy. But you're right. It is abdominal.
That's where reading the questions actually is very important.
Part of what I've done. So what is fibrosis? Scar tissue. Exactly.
Flexible tissue.
By scar tissue. What is eschar?
I read about that. That's the black scarring after a burn injury, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. So dead burn tissue that forms a scab-like layer over a burned skin surface. Right? Is a perfect ground for bugs and bacteria, which is why we like to cover burns where possible. But you don't pick at those things, of course. Get the kids not to, their problem. 3 types of connective tissue.
Blood, bone, and
Blood, bone and lymph. You should have that printed out on there.
Yeah.
Excellent. Saves you rising. I've got to fix those. I just didn't want to waste the paper. I'm green. The medulla oblongata controls what bodily functions? Medulla. We talked about it, didn't we?
It's a brainstem.
Right?
Brainstem.
Part of it. So,
Respiratory system.
heart rate and breathing. 2 of those unconscious things we do when we're asleep. We have to do when we're asleep anyway. Exactly. We mentioned this earlier too. So what is stored for use in reproduction in the vas deferens? What's its proper name? Spermatozoa. Sperm, same horse, different colour. It's safer. I went to a school where they believed that the only way not to get a girl pregnant was to not do it. So,
Well, that works.
it's a principle.
Yay!
So, have a look through. Thank you for your attention.
Take a bow.
Thank you for you.
If you've got any questions, feel free to ask on any subject. I've done such a good job that no one wants to ask questions. I need a pay rise.
So they're not going to
I
be
need a
case
pay
studies or
packet.
anything, it's for
I
sure.
need a pay packet.
The name is, or-
Multi-choice questions, as far as I know, unless they change it,
Yeah.
unless it changes, it will be multi-choice questions.
Just knowing your terms and.
Yep, picking it out of the 4 options.
Yeah.
So there's no short answer.
No, the one online had short answer questions in it, that's where that's all come from. But there's not one online anymore, because it was unsuccessful online.
Is there like a sample one we can do online?
No,
Okay.
no.
So Ned, when it says open,
There will be one day, but I'm just rewriting the whole exam.
when it says it's open book, what can you bring?
You can bring whatever you like, whatever materials you like. Your book, your reference book,
I think I'll bring
you can bring that.
filing cabinet.
Yeah, but iPad, as long as it's got your textbook on it,
Yeah.
that probably, all you'll need really is your textbook and a bit of information. If you want to bring those along with you, you can.
Like all the topics.
Just this
Your
topic.
textbook, just this topic, you don't want to bring everything along.
No, the 13 in this one, isn't it?
The
unit.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring the unit along. You can use it if you know how to I don't know how to reference that really well.
No.
But I would certainly bring my textbook along because that's set up in systems. And you've got a contents page, so you can always look.
This is just personal information.